techniques, as my cousin would say.
It's true. Your surroundings, your setting is so important. I think especially in the creative industry because it's tough. It's tough to keep going.
Honestly. And it was like, my parents looked at me and was like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? They're like, this is, my ex broke up with me. I left my flat in London because I was like, fuck, I can't live in London anymore because like, what am I meant to do? Went back home and then I was like, Mum and Dad, I'm doing music. They were like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You can't do music? I was like, yeah. And then I had another mental breakdown, went to LA for a whole month. And it was like my way of trying to grapple with the idea of, can I actually do this? Because I think for so long, because I'd never done anything creative, I was so afraid to put myself out there. And I was afraid of that judgment. And I was afraid of people going like, why is she doing music when she hasn't done it for so long? Like, why now? And the why now was because I woke up one day and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I don't want to look back and regret never trying.
Yeah.
And it was like, I tried when I was 23 and then I was like too afraid. Then I tried again and it was like, I didn't know what I was doing. And then this time I was like, do you know what? I actually have nothing to lose. I was like, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to LA. I'm going to see if people like my music. I'm going to see if I can just get on a stage and sing. And I very much am like a 0 to 100 sort of person, like throw myself into everything I do.
Yeah.
And that was that. I was like, let me just throw myself into this. I have no idea, but does anyone ever have any idea?
Exactly.
Do you know?
Yeah, and how was that like, what was that process like after you came back from LA? What was like the...
I felt like it was so eye-opening because it reassured me of the person I am. And I was able to be so independent in terms of like, it was the first time I properly solo traveled. It was the first time I'd gone out and networked by myself and relied on myself and my own resilience to be able to get up every day and just try and like put on a brave face and make friends with random people. But me doing that showed myself that, no, I'm ready to take this industry on. Like, no one can doubt me because I know myself better now for doing that.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like you sometimes you don't know how much you're capable of until you put yourself in a situation that you've never been in. And you're like, oh, wait, I can do that. I can travel halfway across the world and just like do that. And then you have that confidence now. You're like, yeah, it's very true.
I mean, I didn't have to go to LA and do it.
But yeah.
I fully could have done it here in London. There's loads of opportunities in London, but it was just like, I think in my head, I was like, I need to go to the Mecca of music and see if I can like make it. And the reception was good. It was like, people liked my music, people liked me, and it's like, I think I had lost myself for so many years, and I think so many people have been lost because of lockdown.
Yeah.
And it's,
that was a big shift in...
Because I don't think people realize that we're currently in a post-COVID world.
Yeah, a lot changed, and not everyone is understanding that change. People are still trying to like... 2017, 2018 are like... It's a different world. It's a completely different world.
It's a complete different world. And it's like, I think everyone is trying to bury their emotions under this invisible carpet and go, no, we can just carry on like normal. And it's like, actually, can we carry on like normal? Are we still the same? Because if you think about it, 2 years of isolation is damning for people mentally. And people are so afraid to speak out about their mental health, and it's like, no, everyone just needs to take a step back and breathe and take accountability for what they've been through and the impacts that has had on them, you know? And I think we just need a moment to just be like introspective and reflective over that.
That's true. And then also, I feel like, I think everyone has mixed feelings about lockdown, and I'm interested to get your opinion, because for me, COVID was like the time when I really, music really started for me. And that's when I was like, there was nothing else to do, you know what I mean? It's just, you just wake up every day and make music, and like everyone's online, everyone's like sharing their music. And I feel like that like from like 2019 to 2021 was just like so intense in my creative development, which it was like, I don't think my life would be the same. I definitely wouldn't be as far as I am on my music journey without COVID.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, like you said, it definitely, spending that much time in isolation, it opens up a lot of demons, you know. And now it's like, it's trying to, you're like, wait, maybe spending 2 years like locked in a room like, probably isn't the best for your sanity. But like, what do you think about that? Like, how does that, like, I guess, I mean, yeah, you also, I guess, when did how did COVID affect your creativity, and like what happened in that time period for you?
I think COVID made me more in denial. And it was like I was trying to be creative, but because I was stuck in an environment that wasn't creative for me, it meant that I actually suppressed that creativity further. And I'm an extrovert, and I grow and learn a lot from people and just having conversations, because I draw inspiration from the world, and just, even if it's just medial conversations or just a random person, I'm able to psychoanalyze that situation. And I love being able to like psychoanalyze many sort of situations and be able to grow from that and take those golden nuggets of information and reflect on it. And for me in lockdown, because I was surrounded by the same people, I wasn't being exposed as much. And for someone like yourself who had been in an environment where you studied music and you already had the network of like musicians around you, it probably was easier, and it's like an incubator for yourself. But if you were trying to start out and you had no foundation, it then made it a lot harder to know how to kind of get your foot in the door.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hear that because it's like, it's isolating. You can't, because everyone's at home. It's hard to like kind of jump into a sphere that you don't know much about. That makes a lot of sense.
Because I don't play, well, I play the piano badly. And I sing, I write all my own music, but it's like, I didn't really know that YouTube beats were a thing back in the day.
Okay.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know I could just type in like Georgia Smith type beat. Or like just find whatever and create that way. I don't know when I found out about YouTube beats being a thing, but it was like only this year. And it's because I went out and met people at an open mic. So a lot of my beginnings in music was from meeting people at open mics and people being like, oh my God, you're an amazing singer. I want to work with you. That's literally how we met. And that's the thing, it's like, my method is to put myself out there. It's a very bold method, and I don't think many people can do that. Some people can, but it's like, it's what I know I'm good at, because I've always been good at relying on my personality and myself and who I am. Whereas like other people will rely on their talents, you know?
That's dope. All right, well, I've got a question for you. This is the question that I kind of ask everyone.
Okay.
And so what's your big goal? What does the top of the mountain for you look like?
The top of the mountain has always been to drive positive change, and I mean in a way that it's to shift people's perspectives. That is like the top of my mountain, to get to a point where everyone can like walk into a situation and feel like they're comfortable to communicate openly, as well as be able to express themselves freely. I think that's like my top of the mountain, is like being able to express myself freely in order, so that made no sense. To express myself freely, to show other people that they can express themselves freely. Because the thing that I care most about is allowing people to feel comfortable in every situation. That's like my inner child speaking, right? But it's very much what I care most about in terms of my music. It's probably why I'm so vulnerable with my music, because I'm like, if I'm showing my vulnerability, then it will show other people that they can be vulnerable too. So yeah, that's the top of my mountain.
That's deep. So, like, I guess an inspiration.
Yeah.
And like I guess a blueprint to allow people to just be free musically, creatively.
Yes.
Okay, dope. And what about like, so what does that actually look like? Is that you? What does that look like on a granular level?
I'm still trying to figure that all out, you know. I think for me, it will start with finding the facets where I can express myself freely, and things that I love most is like film, music, communication. If I can set up a streamlined way in which that people can communicate openly, that would probably be like an event. I really want to start doing events where it's not just about like you come to that event and you leave. It's more about you come to this event and it feels like a community.
Yeah.
And I want people to come there and feel like they can rely on me and be like, oh, hey, I've got this really cool project, and like me trying to help people. That's like the one thing I love most in life, is like just genuinely helping anyone in the best way that I can do. Even if that's me trying to tap into my network, or being like, oh, I know this person who knows this person, let me like set you up, or give them ideas, because I feel like I'm filled with ideas. So it's like, I want to be able to like help people. And if I can do that with like events and just like setting up a community that way, that would probably be like one thing granularly. Then like when I say like film, it's more about the documentary style of things and people being able to be candid about their own experiences, because I think it's ignorant for someone to think that they're the only person going through what they're going through. We all share lived experiences and we all can relate to the things that we've been through. It's trying to find the way in which we can articulate that so everyone can kind of relate to it and learn something from it. Because that's the thing that I've realized is life is just about learning. And it's taking on those lessons and being able to share that with someone else. That's what I want to do. And then through my music, because, oh my God, I love music. I don't think people realize how much I love music. And it's just like being able to, right now I'm like teaching myself to play piano, because all I want to do is to produce, because I'm constantly sitting there and I'm listening to like 70s soul music. And I'm like, I don't know if you know this song, 'Cause I Love You. 'Cause I love you and I need you.
Don't know.
It's Kanye sampled it at the beginning. I can't remember who made it, but that song, like,
it after.
yeah, but that song, it's like just like this, the strings in that, and then like I love like a cello, and it's like sonically, I feel so much from these instruments, and I want to be able to put that into my music so that people can like arrive to my song, whether it has words or not, and be like, I feel what she's feeling. There's intention behind why she chose to put that instrument there. Because music has so much power. It has so much power, and it's like, I started music in January, but really, I've always been in and amongst music, because I've always been so like thoughtful about the way that a certain song evokes a certain emotion, or the fact that I know that when I listen to a bit of Coldplay, it's gonna transcend me back to when I was like in year 9. And it's like, there's so many different genres, and it's like, how do we blend those facets and fuse them all together to make who we are?
So many interesting stuff that we just said in the last like 5 minutes. I was like, fuck.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's alright. It's alright. There was so many gems, but no,
Do you want me to
always,
recap
yeah,
them
we
all?
just, no, it's okay. It's alright. Always in the right place at the right time. If it didn't get recorded, it was for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you believe in manifestation?
I do.
No.
I do. I don't know if I used to believe in it, but I definitely believe it now. And it's like, at the beginning of this year in January, when I was like, I'm gonna do music, I wrote out a plan, and I was like, my goals for this year is to perform once a month minimum. I've now done probably over like 30, 40 performances, because it's like, I did my first performance, and I remember I sang X Factor by Lauryn Hill.
Oh, true.
I love that song. And I was like, wow, I'm so good. I think it's like, when it comes back to that whole quote of me being like, the water bottle, the only difference between a water bottle that's in, I don't know, in a train station compared to an airport is that you're just not being valued. It was like, when I finally put myself out there, I was like, oh damn, like I actually am good.
Yeah.
And it's like, I struggled with the idea of like, is that narcissistic, or am I just finally realizing who I am?
Yeah.
And it was like, no, I'm just realizing who I am. And that's the thing about manifestation. It's like, you're constantly writing every day, like, I am a singer, I am an artist. And that's something I've had to work with, is that imposter syndrome, and me just going, no, I am a singer, I am an artist. And the more and more you write it, the more and more you believe it. So it's like, the manifestation is more, in my eyes, just aligning yourself with your goals and aligning yourself with where you want to be in terms of your vision. And that's kind of how I see manifestation. It's like, it's not necessarily that manifestation in itself is like something that's like this witchcraft. It's more a thing to remind yourself that you are as good as you want to be. Like, what you're achieving, or like your vision of me wanting to make a change, I am the change. It's already happened. I just have to catch up to it.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah.
Fully. It's like the whole thing of like, the reason you want it so bad is because your future you has it.
Yeah.
So it's like, allow yourself to have it. And I think, like you were saying, the manifestation thing, I think growing up, I had this whole like, manifestation, like, that's witchcraft, that's like, well, that's magic. But then I realized that when I actually realized what it was, like you were saying, it's like, I have this vision in my head, I have this idea and this goal that I want to achieve, and I'm actively like making my mind, like, not consuming my mind with it, but like I'm actively have that on my mind. And I think when that's on your mind, it changes your actions.
Yes.
Because it's like, you put yourself in situations where it allows it to happen, you know? Like for example, today, it's like, you're actively like, all right, I'm going to meet someone that is going to help my music career.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We could have been anywhere else, but we came here and we
Yeah.
recorded a video, and you had the, like, alignment within yourself and within your goals to be like, fuck everyone else, I'm going to sing on this step. And it's like, then you meet other people, see that happening, and they meet, and then it's like, that connection might lead to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have no idea how these little, like, it's always the small decisions that we think are so like unimportant that end up being the biggest like catalysts. And I think when we constantly have our visions and our goals on our mind, and we're constantly like, this is where I want to get to, this is where I'm achieving, this is who I am, you become the person that you need to be to receive that thing. And that's when I realized, oh, this manifestation stuff is like, it's powerful, you know?
It really is. And human nature makes us naturally negative, right? I think people have this idea that negative thoughts are a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's like, we all have negative thoughts, but it's training our mind in order to get to that place where we know that we believe in ourselves and we can trust ourselves. Because the only reason I feel comfortable enough to just sing in front of random people and just like put myself out there is because I trust I'm a good singer. And even if I do get a bit nervous, I do get nervous, but it's like, I just remind myself, I'm like, no, there's a greater cause here. Like, I am a good singer. I'm putting myself out there because I want to make a change. And it's just like, when you feel yourself like doubting yourself, it's coming back to those words, coming back to whatever you're manifesting on, whether it's you being like, I want to be a photographer, or I want to be a kind person, I want to be a good friend. It's just reminding yourself that you are that person. And it's like full circle in a sense of like me going out to LA. That was like my like bold decision of manifesting like, no, I can do music.
Yeah.
I am a singer.
Definitely.
And it's like, I wrote a whole song called I Love You, which this was like the first song I ever wrote, and it was a love letter to my inner child. And the whole premise behind it was for me to accept who I am. And I think people are so afraid to accept who they are because they're trying to live up to this image that someone else has projected onto them, whether that's their parents, whether that's their friend, whether that's their boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, you know? And that it's just really taking the time to accept who you are as a person. And I am a bold, loud, funny individual.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just need to put myself out there.
Damn. Yeah. Like, you're giving me a lot to think about. This is. I like this. I like the way you see the world. I think your passion is something that it's sad that it's rare. It's sad that it's rare, but like especially in the industry, because I think there's a lot of people that love music, and I think there's a lot of people that like music, but passion is different. Like passion is like you breathe it. You can't not do it. And I think that when I meet people that are, and the passion rubs off on people. Like you see, I've seen that all today. It's like people constantly like, oh, like the guys at the table, the guys. It's like it becomes contagious because they see in you something that like is universal, you know.
Right.
But even if they're not musicians or even if they're not creatives, it's like there is a passion there, and I feel like that is contagious to life because it's more than just the way you see your art. It's the way you live your life. And I feel like it's beautiful to see. Very, very, it's invigorating, man. Like,
Thank you. Yeah. So why do you feel like you don't see as much passion then?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, especially like the more I'm getting into the music industry, I would say. Like before I'd make music, but the more I'm networking with music industry professionals, I'm starting to realize that there is a big difference between the music and the music business, you know, and like the industry and just the music, and I feel like there is a lot of people that I guess like the music or see a path to success or to accolades or to fame. And don't actually have a passion for it. And I think you can, it's even reflected in the music that we hear in popular culture. Yeah. It's like a lot of it is uninspired. A lot of it is kind of, is clones of what someone else is doing, what is popping, and someone's just doing it. And like, we're not really, like I don't want to call out names, but like we all know the artists that are making songs that just sound like everyone else, or just sound like themselves, they're just copying and printing. Yeah. And it's like there is no passion, there is no sort of like, this is what I live, this is what I breathe. If no one else was on this planet, I would still be banging on drums and making like. And I think that when there's people like that, you can tell. But yeah, I think that's the reason. It's because it's the industry, man. Like, and if people want to make money, and that's fine, but it's important that people that do have the passion actually are vocal about it and are at the forefront of it. Otherwise,
I think it's really hard because those people who tend to be passionate tend to also not be the best in music business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where you see the divide in passion and music
Industry.
business.
Yeah, very true.
Because you have smarter men like Diddy.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Who was so intelligent in the way he operated himself that it got him to the place that it got him. But if you actually look at his catalogue, did he make good music? I mean, okay, he had some good,
Arguably.
there's some good stuff. But like, if we look into it all, like, did he write it? Did he, he had a team with him. Because he was so smart about it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the problem that I see. And it's like, it infuriates me, but it also makes me more hungry to be like, how do I get smarter?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm gonna come at this with the passion, but also I need to think about how do I become the businesswoman.
Exactly. Because that's the only way you can sustain it.
Yeah.
And do it forever, Yeah. It's so true. And I think I'm seeing a lot of artists get discouraged because they feel like they have to become the business. But it's like, if you want to, there's some of the best musicians in the world, you'll never hear their name because they just make songs in their bedroom and they never release them.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want to be, that's fine. But if you want to be the biggest artist or have people share your music and perform on stages and make a career out of this, you want to do this for a living, you have to know the business. Like, and I feel like fighting it and hating the industry and all it, it's not going to change the fact that if you don't know the industry, the business, and you're an amazing artist, someone who does know the business and is an amazing artist is going to outperform you.
Oh,
it's like every time, and I think, like you're saying, it's the more we can educate ourselves, the more we can allow the people that really are supposed to really love it here can stay here,
But it also annoys me because it's like the music business is so like gatekeepy.
Yeah.
This is like part of like one of my things where it's like I want to build a community because it's like I don't know what I'm doing, but I also want to be able to be like, okay, none of us really know what we're doing, but let's help each other out and like break the music business. Like, I want to make a cult. Okay, maybe not. Not like a full-on.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Any concepts does not reflect the timeless production though. No, I hear you though. Yeah, I think there's that saying of, if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. And if you want to go far, you go with a group.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we, like, there's so many amazing artists that I'm connected with. And it's like, if we all just come together, it's like, individually, we might get so far, but it's like all of us together. And someone's like, but I also think that does happen. Because I often say this, I'm like, we're going to get like 10 years from now, we're going to look back on it. And we're going to look around of like, the industry, and we're gonna be like, oh, the industry is us, and because it's like, it's just, and that's the thing that I keep on saying to artists is, it is a long run. Like, it's not about the sprint. It's about like, how do you show up every year? How do you just stay in the game? Like, it's, and I tell myself this as well, because I'm like, I want to be rich. I want to make $1 billion. Like, I want to sell out the O2, and I'm like, it's not about that yet. It's just about, how do I keep doing this next year? And how do I keep doing this the year after that and the year? And it's like, it's just, if I can stay in the game, everything else will sort it out. But often we can run and then gas ourselves out, and we're like, we give up 2, 3, 4 years in, and it's like, this is a 20, like we're talking about Pharrell. It's like, he's been in the game for how many years? Like, decades. It's not about the year. It's not about the 6-month plan. It's about the 40-year plan. Like, how do you show up every day for 40 years? And that's really when it's like, different time frame. Okay, I can slow down a little bit. I don't have to gas myself out this year. Like, I can, you know what I mean?
But Pharrell himself has like said in so many interviews, he's just been really lucky in terms of like being in the right places at the right time. And like being consistent with like Neptunes, like him and Chad, what's his surname? Them two, Pharrell and Chad. Like, and getting loads of sync and licensing deals. They got so lucky with that. And then it's like them also being really intentional about the work that they took and being like, no, actually, we don't want to just like make music to make music. We're going to make the music that we want to make, but also make it work for us. you know?
Yeah.
So it's like trying to, like I said, don't be discouraged. Think about like, how can I be smarter?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about like working harder, it's about working smarter.
Always.
Always.
Always. And if you could do both, if you can work hard and
Yes.
smart,
Yes.
whoo, and that's the thing. It's like if you can be passionate and know the business,
Literally.
if you can have both sides of the coin, then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. This conversation needed to happen. I feel like this is
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, there's a lot of energy here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
For sure. I'm like, I can literally talk for hours and hours about like, but this is the thing, it's like I'm constantly, like I've said, I've been in an echo chamber of like these ideas, and it's like I'm so introspective, and like I love like psychoanalyzing situations, and I'm super observant, and it's like my favorite thing sometimes is like when we're going to these events, like we met at a jam sesh, I love just like watching how people kind of operate, because to me that indicates the sort of person that they are.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm constantly looking out for, are they trying to be the loudest in the room, or are they trying to be like center stage, or are they there to uplift people, you know? And it's the little nuances that you kind of see just in how that person is operating. And you can, sometimes some people are just like really good at hiding if they're gonna be like a really bad person or not, but like most of the times you can kind of tell, like, do I want to put myself around that sort of person or not, you know? And it's more about reading the energy.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking.
No. I think this is like there's a lot of gems. There's a lot of gems in this. This is the But hey, Munch with the Mandem. Thank you,
Yeah,
Shalini.
Munch with the Mandem.
There was no Munch
no
today,
Munch.
but we had
Water.
water.
Stay
Like, this is
hydrated. Yeah. My water bottle is huge.
Yeah.
1.5 liters.
Extra hydration. All right, done. Well, all right, cool. I feel like this is a good ending point. I got stuff to think about. So hopefully you do. Thank you. I feel like we'll end it with a little. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell the people who you are as well. Let them
hi.
know what.
I hate doing this bit. I always forget to introduce myself. I'm like, who am I? Shalini Rani. It actually means modest queen in Hindi. I'm a neo soul singer. Well, I say neo soul. I'm trying to not pigeonhole myself to neo soul, but I mean vocally I'm very soulful, just based off of the people that I listen to. But yeah, Shalini Rani, that's me. Sorry.
Shalini Rani. Thank you for coming on Munch with the Mandem. Hopefully you'll see this soon.
Yeah, bye.